Hi, folks. Just want to welcome everybody to the commencement this year. We have a full house today, and I want to make sure that every seat is filled so that we can accommodate as many people as we can. So I'm going to ask, if you have an empty seat next to you, please fill that by moving toward the center of the Coleman Center. This is a very celebratory day, so you can get to know your neighbor real well. And we will get started here shortly. Thank you.
Please rise for the national anthem and remain standing for the invocation led by Reverend Christopher McCrate. Thank you.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets wriggling, the bombs blasting in air, keep through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And let us collect ourselves in stillness for reflection, for meditation, or for prayer. That infinite, that sacred that surrounds and breathes into us and dwells with us. We pause to offer our gratitude, remembering all that has brought us to this time and place. The calling that brought us to Hiram years ago and the welcome of friends who received us. The engagement of material and passion for learning, successful endeavor and encounter of limitations. The depth of experience as students and as human beings. For the community that has carried us and the times we have carried others. For this and more have shaped this class in their becoming leaders, of neighbors, of citizens. And so we offer our gratitude for this class and their spirits and their wisdom and their grace, and we pray that they may shape our world in ways that lead to flourishing, to justice, to peace. In the name of all that is holy, we offer this prayer. Amen.
You may be seated. Good afternoon. I'm Lori Verlotta, president of Hiram College. It is my pleasure to welcome you to campus on this spring day in May to celebrate with the class of 2018. Before I begin my short remarks, I would like to thank Danny Lynn McDonald from the class of 2019 for leading us in song, and Christopher McCrate, our college chaplain, for starting off today's ceremony. I would also like to introduce some special guests who are in the audience this afternoon. In addition to our distinguished colleagues and friends on the platform, we are honored to have 13 members of our Hiram College Board of Trustees. Will the Board of Trustees please stand from their seats? And I want everybody to acknowledge these men and women who serve in a volunteer role here at the college. Thank you. All of our trustees are accomplished professionals in their own right, and I am immensely grateful to the expertise and the support that they offer to the college and to me as your president. I would also like to welcome Mr. Lou Bertrand, the mayor of Hiram, of the village of Hiram. Lou, will you please stand? Thank you. Lou has dedicated many years to public service, and we are grateful that he continues to be such a good friend of the college. I personally want to welcome the college graduates. I know many of the students sitting here today that are about to walk across this very important stage. We came together 4 years ago. You were freshman students, and I was your freshman president. Look how much we have learned and grown since then. Just think for a single moment about the changes that you have encountered over the last 4 years of your life. Changes on this little hill at Hiram, changes, so many changes, 350 miles away on the big hill in Washington, D.C. Changes on the social media platforms where many of you spend so much of your time. For many people, change comes hard. It is something that they can embrace on an abstract level, but not as easily when it affects their home, their organization, their community, or their family. But since none of us are immune to the change around us, it is my hope that the liberal arts education that you experienced at Hiram will prepare you to not only understand, but to ultimately lead the many changes that you feel most passionate about. When I visit with alumni around the country, and I do that very often, the thing that impresses me most about college alums is that they're not merely good thinkers. They are constructive doers who are very creative in their workplace and in their community and in their own social network. So as you sit here today, getting ready to commence the next phase of your young and very promising lives, let's take great satisfaction in the fact that your liberal arts education should have prepared you first and foremost to learn how to learn and to face the changes that you will lead. From a professional perspective, consider what awaits you. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says that graduates today from college campuses will change not only their job, but in many cases their career every 2 to 4 years. You might have 15 career changes by the time you retire 30 or 35 years from now. From a personal perspective, just step back for 1 second and imagine a trip that you might take next year, your first postgraduate trip, or maybe one even this summer. You will, at the time of that trip, likely sign up for an Airbnb. The Airbnbs might be wiping out the hotels that our parents have stayed in. You won't need to worry about who's driving you to the Airbnb because a driverless car will pick you up at the curb at the airport. You won't need to buy driver's insurance or figure out who's going to be using the rental car while you're on vacation. And you won't even have to figure out where the grocery store is because Siri and Alexa know exactly what you eat, where you're going, and what you're going to do. For better and for worse, that is the world that awaits you. And as you step into the world today, I hope that you're prepared to change the parts of that world that you may not like. Thank goodness that Hiram has prepared you to be stimulated, not stymied by the ever-changing world you enter. Along with your faculty, I am proud to send you forward into the world, into your career, into your family life. Not as specialists who can do one thing well, but as educated men and women who can think critically, make subtle but important connections, integrate various ways of thinking and knowing, and be your same and best self. At this very moment, I urge you to earn your new degree, not to ponder only what you want to do, but what kind of person you expect to become. Hiram College has given you not just the skills, but the spirit and the curiosity to ponder the most important questions that you will be asking from this moment forward. Graduates, remember, draw from, and relish the experiences that you experienced here at Hiram College. No matter where you go from this point on, you are a member of our family. There are 15,000 living alums who are in the world around us. Join them in representing us well. Come back home to Hiram whenever you can, and share the many successes that you are bound to accomplish on the many journeys that you will take. At this point in time, I would like to invite our chairman of the board, Mr. Dean Scarborough, to make a few remarks to the graduating class.
Thank you, President Varlotta. And on behalf of the entire Board of Trustees of Hiram College, I congratulate all of today's graduates and their family. Being here today as chairman of the Board of Trustees is a special duty of my role. I graduated from Hiram back in 1977, and I have to admit, I never thought I'd be standing up here congratulating all of you on your significant achievement. It's really a fantastic day for all of us. Regardless of your major or your chosen profession or the next phase of your education, you have learned 3 skills that will enable you to thrive, adapt, and lead in a world that is constantly changing. Those skills, critical thinking, analytical, fact-based problem solving, and cultural awareness, are lifelong skills that will enable you to manage and master the changes in your life, your work, and in the communities in which you live. Those skills, which I also learned at Hiram, have been invaluable in all these areas of my life. After Hiram, I went to the University of Chicago to get my business degree. And what I found in my 40-year business career was it wasn't the technical learning at Chicago that enabled me to be the CEO of a large public company. It was the ability to be a lifelong learner using those key skills. The ability to learn and understand the cultures of people that work for Avery in over 80 countries. The ability to use critical thinking to make better decisions, and, more importantly, to learn from those decisions that didn't really work out quite the way I expected. And most important, to manage those key relationships in your life. As we send you off today to embark on your personal and professional journeys, I want you to know that you are well prepared for whatever lies ahead. You have the capability to master the changes and challenges that you will inevitably face. You have the critical thinking skills, the ability to solve problems, and the cultural awareness to be successful in all you do. Hiram College has been changing lives for more than 165 years by uniquely providing graduates like you with a liberal arts education. Hiram's community, its faculty, its staff, and its students have created a culture that embraces these values in everything that they do. Hiram graduates have been changing the world in many types of endeavor, and you will too. As you make your way through the world, keep us posted on what you're doing, discovering, and learning. In this world of change, you are prepared. But I can promise you one constant, and that's that Hiram College will continue to provide its own unique brand of the liberal arts for a long time. Help us continue in that tradition. Congratulations, and I wish you all success.
Hello, my name is Christian J. Roberts, and I am proud to represent the class of 2018 and introduce today's commencement address speaker. Today is a day of much anticipated celebration for Hiram, the college class of 2018. It is a pivotal movement in our lives. Today, we become college graduates, and not just any college graduates. We are about to become graduates of Hiram College, the place where we've made some of the best friends we will ever have, where we pulled all-nighters, studied in other communities to understand those different cultures and circumstances in ways so profound they will forever stay ingrained in our memories, where Hiram High is a natural part of who we are, where we hike the Hiram Hill more times than we can count, and where we will miss those dreaded steps more than we can ever imagine right now. We hear it time and time again. Hiram College is a place that changes lives. We need to look just a few feet away at our commencement speaker. the Honorable Carol Perez, Ambassador of the United States to the Republic of Chile, to see where a Hiram graduate degree can take us. After Ambassador Perez graduated from Hiram College with a BA in Political Science in 1975, she attended George Washington University, where she received a master's degree in healthcare administration. A native of Northeast Ohio, Garfield Heights to be exact, Ambassador Perez joined the State Department in 1987. She served her first 2 overseas tours in Madrid, Spain, and Rome, Italy. In 1997, she assumed a series of assignments in Washington, including as the Deputy Executive Director in the Executive Secretary, Office Director in the Secretariat Staff Office, and Deputy Executive Secretary. Ambassador Perez has served twice as Consul General in Barcelona, Spain, from 2001 to 2003, and in Milan, Italy, from 2009 to 2011. Upon returning to Washington in 2011, she served as Deputy Assistant Secretary and Principal Deputy Assistant Secretary in the Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs until 2014. Ambassador Perez then assumed the position of Principal Deputy Assistant Secretary in the Bureau of Human Resources at the Department of State, where she was responsible for human capital development programs and policies for 75,000 State Department employees who served in more than 250 locations around the world. In July 2016, she was confirmed as the U.S. Ambassador of Chile. Through these and her other diplomatic roles, Ambassador Perez has a compelling story to share with us, her fellow Terriers. Her personal and professional narratives exemplify the potential in all of us. They demonstrate just how far a Hiram College education can take each and every one of us. Please join me in welcoming our fellow Terrier, the Honorable Carol Perez, Ambassador of the United States to the Republic of Chile.
That's what your name is. Well, first of all, good afternoon, but I want to have hello, class of 2018. I think we need to recognize all of you. So let's give yourselves some applause. I was invited here today to speak about change, and I know that President Varlotta just spoke about it as well. 22 years ago, most of you were babies, and now you're college graduates. And during that time, you experienced enormous personal change. Our society underwent change as well: cultural, political, economic, technological, and institutional. Entire industries were destroyed, but others were created. Think about the smartphone that I'm sure each of you has in your hand right now. 22 years ago, in 1996, Motorola gave us the first flip phone. And in 2007, Steve Jobs produced the first iPhone. And last year, an estimated 700 million Apple iPhones were in use. So scientists have identified several laws of nature that are constant. However, I can guarantee you that there are a few aspects of life that will not require you to change. That is, to make or become different. Before I talk about change related to my personal life experience, I do want to thank President Varlotta, I want to thank Chairman Scarborough, distinguished faculty, and recognize the graduates, family, and friends who are here today. The invitation to be your commencement speaker is indeed a high honor for me and for my family. I also want to thank the educators at Hiram, who provided me with the educational and intellectual foundation to chart my own course, to face change head-on, to know fear, but to have the resolve to overcome it, to plunge into the unknown, and to take risks. Let me underscore first that you are extremely lucky to be part of the United States of America. As a diplomat, I have traveled the world, and at the end of the day, I am very proud to be an American. Ours is an ever-changing country, dynamic, generous, creative, and forward-leaning. You would be surprised at the enormous influence we have in the world. Science, technology, music, movies, medicine, and education. The Cleveland Clinic, for example, is an internationally renowned medical center that provides world-class medical care to people all over the world. So I was in your shoes in 1975 when I graduated from Hiram. I had proud parents, those are all of you in the back of the room. I had a brand new degree, little work experience, and I had no job offers. But I was anxious to move on with my life and eager to see what was over that famous rainbow. And I decided to move to Washington, D.C., and like that famous character, J. Alfred Prufrock, created by the poet T.S. Eliot, I was wondering if I dared to disturb the universe. So I ended up in D.C. I received a master's degree in hospital administration from the George Washington University, met my future husband. Now, I'm a Midwestern Polish American, and he's a Latino from Texas. So talk about change for both of us. And I was anticipating a career in medical administration. However, my husband had joined the U.S. Department of State's Foreign Service. And one day he came home and he said, we're moving to Montevideo, Uruguay. And at the time, I'm not sure I knew where it was on a map. And we're going to be there for 2 years. So I ended up living in a small South American country where the dominant language is Spanish, which I did not speak. I had no friends. I was almost 6,000 miles away from Ohio and my family. And to boot, the seasons were reversed. So that cold, snowy Christmases that I had known in Cleveland were now sun-splashed beach days in Montevideo. Now, I will admit that last change was actually pretty excellent. But eventually, I too joined the Foreign Service, and we did diplomatic tours in Madrid and Rome, and I was posted as Consul General to Barcelona and Milan. And in 2016, I was nominated by President Obama to be ambassador to Chile. I was confirmed by the Senate, and I assumed my duties in Santiago, Chile, where I now work. The point here is that change happens, and in my case, it was the road not taken that caused the change. As opposed to a career in hospital administration, I became a U.S. diplomat. Spanish novelist Miguel de Cervantes recognized change as a constant, and is quoted as saying that life is not what you are, but only what you may become. And I agree with Cervantes. I believe as humans, we are a work in progress, we change, we evolve, sometimes for good and sometimes for bad. This also applies to institutions. And the German sociologist Max Weber proposed, and I'm paraphrasing here, that institutions are organizing entities that deliver the most bang for the buck. So one challenge for institutions is how to structure and organize to provide maximum return with maximum efficiencies. For example, if your goal is to educate students, how do you do this best? And how does Hiram change to prepare graduates for an increasingly competitive and complex world, while at the same time preserving the institution's core values? Sad to say, I don't have the answers for you. And this is the great thing about being the commencement speaker. I get to pose the difficult questions without providing any answers. But I can, however, share with you what I have observed and learned in my journey from a Hiram graduate to U.S. ambassador in Chile. During my 30-year career as a diplomat, I have had 18 different jobs. I've traveled to over 100 countries, and I've served overseas for 12 years. Please understand, change is really hard. On an organizational level, it is disruptive, chaotic, and full of risk. On a personal level, it creates anxiety, sleepless nights, and that gnawing sensation in your stomach as you approach the unknown. As much as we live in an incredibly fast-changing world, we tend to shrink from change. So we ask ourselves, do we really want to disturb the universe? So when I think about how I've managed change and how my organization, the State Department, has done the same, I have observed that change has attributes, and understanding and embracing these attributes enabled the State Department and me to succeed. So let me share with you 2 attributes of change that I believe have led to not only foreign policy successes, but have made the State Department a better organization, and me a better person and leader. Much of what I learned was from observing close up the work of Secretaries of State Colin Powell and Condoleezza Rice. I worked closely with them, traveled around the world with them, flew into dangerous countries with them, and observed how they exerted leadership and managed people. Each of them taught me not only how to manage change, but how to embrace it. Attribute 1, change clarifies its organizational and personal priorities. The State Department is filled with really smart people who know a lot about foreign affairs. But diplomacy is very much experiential, so you often learn more from your failures than from your successes.
Even more importantly, you need a culture of leadership that will grow the next generation of diplomats and make them effective. You also need to recruit and retain the best and the brightest. Secretary Colin Powell is known outside the State Department for his many accomplishments, but inside the department, he will be forever honored for clarifying the department's organizational priorities, to include an emphasis on hiring, retention, and leadership. As we made the necessary changes in policy from the Clinton to the Bush administration, Secretary Powell took a hard, critical look at our internal priorities and made significant changes. His message was simple. We need the right people in the right places at the right time and with the right skills. He accomplished this goal by increasing hiring, expanding training, and brought modern technology to the department. For us, that meant putting internet at the desktop. That was something unheard of in our normally secretive operating environment. He focused on the mission and communicated the purpose of our activities and what we were trying to achieve. And finally, he cultivated a culture of trust because he believed that trust is the essence of leadership. Our foreign policies might change with new presidents and new secretaries of state, but Colin Powell's focus on making people a priority remains a legacy today. Now, just like with Secretary Powell's experience, what is great about change is that it gives you the opportunity to reset your priorities. Now, this change could be something as simple as moving to a new city, starting a new job, and getting yourself settled in a new neighborhood. Do you want a house with all the responsibilities it involves, or do you want to be footloose and fancy-free? If you're working for an organization that's experiencing change, being part of that process can help as the organization establishes values and goals. So, for example, you have a job working for the Cleveland Browns, who are going to make big changes this year, which means better than a 0-16 record. And what is most important for you is that you have voice in that process as the organization sets its priorities. Now, I would hope that collectively these voices would make it a priority to win a lot of games this year and, of course, make the playoffs. Attribute 2, change drives innovation. As the world became more complex over the last 22 years, it became apparent that the State Department needed to rethink how it was structured in order to better respond to the extraordinary times in which we live. So just over 10 years ago, Secretary Rice embarked on an effort called transformational diplomacy. And the idea was to align our people and resources to respond to challenges, like transnational threats from terrorism, weapons proliferation, and drug smuggling. The core elements of this initiative included relocating diplomats away from postings in Europe to places they were needed most, like China and Nigeria and Indonesia, requiring service in hardship locations like Afghanistan or Iraq, and focusing on regional solutions to problems. Our challenge was to maintain security, fight poverty, and encourage democratic reforms, with the goal of changing people's lives for the better. Now, my State Department colleagues initially were not happy that there were less opportunities to serve in London and Paris, and to be perfectly frank, neither was I. But 10 years later, the department has undergone an incredible cultural change, and now state officers compete for the most complex assignments in the most challenging locations. And during my time working in the Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs, that's a very long title for a bureau otherwise commonly known as Drugs and Thugs, I saw firsthand how effective regional efforts in South America or Southeast Asia or the Balkans supported justice sector reform and countered the work of transnational criminal organizations. What was evident was that as these problems became more transnational, innovation was better needed to respond to these threats. Now, you may not be asked to innovate to stop terrorism or keep nuclear weapons from North Korea, but each day you face issues and problems that just beg for creativity. So, for example, if you are a Hiram alum, Nathaniel Eaton, you invent the water dodger, which makes a big splash in the toy market and helps relieve the hot and humid Ohio summers. Perhaps you are a parent with a growing family and you're trying hard to manage a busy home and a job. Innovation in this case can be as simple as finding that perfect appliance that lets you cook healthy meals in 30 minutes, or finding a new route home that evades most of the traffic. If necessity is the mother of invention, then change is the mother of innovation. So now that I've talked about these attributes of change that I observed during my career, at this point you're probably thinking, she's an ambassador, so change has got to have been really easy. But let me tell you the hard truth. Change is the reason I am here today, the reason that I am the first female ambassador from the United States in Chile. And this is my personal story of change. Over 15 years ago, I was working in the executive office of the Secretary of State, and I loved my job. I had a great boss who was a good friend, I had terrific staff, and I had work that was varied and challenging, but also very familiar. So in other words, I was comfortable. And one day I received a call from the senior person at the State Department who was responsible for internal and interagency operations. And she asked me if I wanted to become the next director of an office that supports all of the Secretary of State's worldwide travel and manages the enormous flow of documents and information the Secretary needs to do the job. And my reaction was, no thanks. I was happy, and I believed that my team and I were doing great work. So why break up a win-win situation? The other reason was this office was a mess, and it did not have the Secretary's confidence. My boss at the time, though, who was an incredible mentor, encouraged me to take the job, embrace the change, and promised that it would lead to bigger and better opportunities in the future. I was more than a bit skeptical, but after much internal deliberation, which for me meant a lot of sleepless nights, and that gnawing pit feeling in my stomach, I said, okay, I'll do it. My new boss was clear. We needed change. She said, you own the future success of this office. So I hired talented people. I told them we have the opportunity to shape this office and used innovation to better support their success. I told them the focus was on us and that we needed to embrace change in order to better serve the Secretary and the department. It was one of the most difficult years I had as a manager. But after 10 months, I was asked to fill a more senior leadership role. And these changes, which I now call opportunities, started me on the path I am still on today. Fast forward to 2015, and I'm working as the number 2 for human resources at the department, when I was approached about applying to be an ambassador. Now, for State Department personnel, becoming an ambassador is one of the highest possible accolades. But it has risk, and the work is grueling. Every part of your life is an open book for State Department security experts, White House lawyers, and Senate investigators. You will be grilled by the Senate Foreign Relations Committee and then await a nerve-wracking up or down vote by the committee and the full Senate. And I asked myself, do I want to take this road? Eventually, I overcame my fears and said yes. So I am convinced I would not be here today had it not been for the changes I undertook 15 years ago. All of you have the same potential. So when you accept that the only constant in life, in nature, in the universe, is change, the only question left to answer is, what will be your attitude in the face of change? Will you run, resist, reluctantly accept, or embrace it? No two situations are alike. Sometimes it will feel like you're doing all these things at once. But in the end, the most joyful, rewarding path is that of radical acceptance, an affirmative decision in the face of the good, the bad, and the indifferent, to learn, to grow, to seize what's before you. This is the road less traveled, of which Robert Frost so eloquently wrote. Not the easy road, but the one most likely to help you realize your potential. I am living proof that positive change is possible, that progress is not always linear. It zigs, it zags, it waxes, and it wanes. But if we work at it, we tend towards the good and a better world for you and your children. Life-like change is what you make of it. So go out there and make something great. Thank you so much.
I want to thank Ambassador Perez not only for her insightful message, but for everything that she has done for her alma mater over the years. Thank you for your wise and heartfelt remarks. Graduates, as you know well, earning a Hiram degree is not an easy task, as our standards are high ones. We are proud that you took the challenge to earn a bachelor's degree and that you are achieving that milestone at this very moment in time. I know for a fact that you are making it to this graduation stage through the help of many others. Many of you have done it with your family and your friends, with your faculty who've supported you through your journey. And in many cases, it's the sacrifice of those family and friends that have helped you get to where you are today. Let's recognize the crucial role that these supporters have played in your college success. Family and friends, will you please stand? All family and friends. Graduates, will you please stand and face your family and friends? Please thank them with a very loud round of applause for everything they've done. Thank you. Well, graduates, I'm pleased to tell you that we've arrived at the most important moment of the ceremony, the conferring of degrees. We will begin with our graduate students. Dean Meiskens, will you please join me at the podium? Chairman Scarborough, will you please do the same?
Will the candidates for the Master of Arts in Interdisciplinary Studies please rise? President Verlotta, before you are the candidates for the degree of Master of Arts in Interdisciplinary Studies. They have completed their programs and the faculty has approved their qualifications. It's a pleasure to present them to you to confer their degrees.
Graduates, as authorized by the faculty, the Board of Trustees of Hiram College, and the State of Ohio, I now confer upon you the Master of Arts in Interdisciplinary Studies with all of the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. I ask the audience to please hold your applause until the master's degree candidates have received their diploma folders. They will come up.
Marwan Ali. Tyler McCormick. Ross D. Minnick. Megan Pleskovic. Ashlyn Schindler Cota. Kelly Jo Wilson.
President Verlotta, this completes the roster of those who have qualified for the Master of Arts in Interdisciplinary Studies. Congratulations to all of you. And now, will the candidates for the Bachelor of Arts degree please rise? President Barlotta, these are the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts. The faculty has reviewed their qualification and approved those who have completed their respective programs of study. I'm honored to present them to you at this time.
Graduates, as authorized by the faculty, the Board of Trustees of Hiram College, and the State of Ohio, I now confer on you the bachelor's degree, the Bachelor's degree of Arts with all of the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. The class may now be seated, and the candidates will be presented individually to receive their diploma folders.
And before we begin, I wanted people to note that honors is printed in the program, and those are based on grades from the end of fall semester. The final determination of honors will be made after submission of all final grades, and diplomas with seals designating final honors will be mailed in a few weeks. Could the student marshals at this time please begin to bring forward the candidates for the Bachelor of Arts degree, and please hold your applause until all diploma folders have been awarded.
Nick A. Adashi. Hasibola Agbar. Javon M. Alexander. Thea Mackenzie Anjoli. Kevin Lee Ayring, summa cum laude. Donna Atanasova, summa cum laude. Cheyenne Lynn Ball. Lisa Michelle Marcy. Jacob Landon Edward Marvin. Isaiah Conrad Matthews. Seth David Barrett, summa cum laude. Scott Bowerman. Skylar Madison Corrente Beck, magna cum laude in cursu honorum. Matthew Vincent Bolliard, summa cum laude. Sorry. Dallas Booth. Chantel Lynn Brady, magna cum laude, Phi Beta Kappa. Tyler James Carciopolo. Carlito Vincenzo Cascone. Megan M. Chaplin, magna cum laude. Colleen Elise Chartier. Hallie A. C. Chavez, in cursu honorum. Samuel Patrick Conway. Sean Matthew Lyons. Christian John Maynor. Kayla Nicole Cornett. Shanae Craig. James Stephen Cross, Jr. Lisa Marie Dano. Savannah Dawn Dean. Melissa Suzanne Dewey, cum laude. Sarah Elizabeth Diamond. Ginger Ray Dahl. Kelsey Marie Noel Duran, magna cum laude. Erica Lynn Dolka. Blake Charles Easterling. Amanda Marie Eckertson. Peter Jacob Evanoff. Mercedes Jones. Jordan Michael Everett. Emily Lois Fenn, cum laude. Rebecca Ann Fisher, cum laude. Jessica Ann Fontana, summa cum laude. Kelly Ray Foster, summa cum laude. Julia Nora Franqueza Givernow, in cursu honorum. Christina M. Futty. Quinn Timothy Galecki. Darren Allen Garlock, summa cum laude. Patrick Gray Garrett, cum laude. Julian William Gilbert. Elise Gillentine. Antoine Olivier Gladue Corbin. Summa cum laude, Phi Beta Kappa. Lyndon Glaze. Jory Cameron Gomes, magna cum laude in cursu honorum. Joseph Roger Gonzalez. Eduardo Gonzalez. Spencer Edwin Goodhart, cum laude in cursu honorum. Cody Lynn Greenwald, cum laude, Phi Beta Kappa in cursu honorum. Lauren E. Greiner. Morgan Bryce Griffith. Anton Fernando Gross. Jody Marie Haydu, magna cum laude. Ricky Carl Hampton. Riley Garrett Harpster, cum laude. Timothy Sampson Hatfield. Piera Nicole Hurd. Jenny Rebecca Hyde, cum laude. Delisa Monique Henderson. Lance M. Henderson, Jr. Daniel Humberto Hernandez. Christopher Michael Hillier. Taylor Elizabeth Hillier, cum laude. Timothy C. Hinton McCoy. Kara Elizabeth Hoax, magna cum laude in cursu honorum. Joseph Wanye Earl Howard, cum laude. Emily Brooke Haruska, summa cum laude, Phi Beta Kappa in cursu honorum. Caitlin R. Ekus. Luke Evan Janisic. Melissa Nicole Johnson, summa cum laude. Kelvin D. Jones. Robert Matthew Kinney, summa cum laude. Brandon Charles Kish. Holly Elizabeth Knight. Amanda J. Kripchak, summa cum laude. Kelly Jane Langland. Thomas Jacob Learn. Paige Eliza Lewis, magna cum laude in cursu honorum. Samuel Boris Latovsky. Savannah Renee Lornchak, summa cum laude. Ryan Michael Love, magna cum laude in cursu honorum. Josh D. Lubitch. Nora E. Lynch. Devin Ahmad Jones.
Makes sense. Got it.
All right. It's okay.
Robert Austin McCann. Robert was summa cum laude. Brandon A. McElhaney. Ryan Patrick McGuire. Carolyn J. McKinney. Shawnee Monet McCrae. Abira Mahmood, cum laude, Phi Beta Kappa. Rachel Michaela Metcalf. Richard John Milford. Alina Natalie Millie, cum laude. Alyssa K. Moran. Abigail Marin Newick, cum laude. Sierra Grace Mario Redmond. Mary Neckel. Jacqueline Winterjean Nelson. Robert John Nelson Jr. Brittany Taylor Nemechek, cum laude. Irene Nga-Bisse. Sorry. Irene Nga-Bisse. Stefan Jr. Nuafu Wanko, magna cum laude, Phi Beta Kappa. Christian Chemuluene. Pretoria E. Okafor, cum laude. Julie May Olzak. Christian Michael O'Neill, magna cum laude, Phi Beta Kappa in cursu honorem. Brittany Poletta, magna cum laude, Phi Beta Kappa. Ryan James Paderak. Julia Louise Pfaff. Brianna Renee Phoenix. Martha Emily Pylon. Evan Michael Pinney. Rebecca Margaret Pochedli, in curso honorum. Rachel Joanne Rose Polfer. Jasmine Hope Brzezinkowski, magna cum laude, Phi Beta Kappa. Teresa Ann Prochaska Bonima, magna cum laude. Stephen Andrew Procopio. Gregory John Prystash, magna cum laude. Aaron Thomas Ratai. Sierra Michelle Ray. Alex James Reese. Careful. Yael Elizabeth Reinhold. You did it before. Thank you, huh? Oh, Jamie Alexandra Rivera. Christian Joy Roberts. Danny Robinson. Michaela R. Robinson. Nicholas Rollison. Jonathan Brian Ross. Robert James Safranek. Henry Sanyasa, cum laude. Cheyenne Carey Sartoski. Melissa Haley Schilling. Jasmine Janae Scott. Justin F. Jusingham. Jessica Caitlin Shan. Deontay Shelton. Kaylee Marie Shockley, magna cum laude. Michael Anthony Schizenta. Henry Austin Smith. I got it. Kenneth Hubert Smykowski, cum laude. Janita Stockwell. Andrea Jean Strimple, cum laude. Delaney Catherine Stryzek. Isaiah Talley. Andriana Tyjanik. Jeffrey William Trobenter, cum laude. Katie Marie Truchel. Paul Kenyon Vanderbrook. Allison Ray Benoit. Dylan James Walsh. Terrence Edward Warren. Kyle P. Watson. Leanna R. Walston. Heidi Nicole Wiegand. Holly Noel Wilkins. Jacob Allen Williams. Benjamin Andrew Wilson, cum laude. Alexis Catherine Witowicz, cum laude. Amanda Michelle Worcester. Zachary James Yedlicka, cum laude. Kayla L. Yost. Justin Ryan Young. Alyssa Storm Zeleneski. Where am I? The mic's not on, sorry. President Varlata, this ends the Bachelor of Arts candidates. Congratulations. Thank you. And now will the candidates for the Bachelor of Science in Nursing please rise. President Varlata, I present these candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Nursing to you. The faculty has reviewed qualifications and has approved those who have completed their programs. It's a privilege to present them to you at this time.
Members of the graduating class, as authorized by the faculty, the Board of Trustees, and the State of Ohio, I now confer on each of you the Bachelor of Science degree, with all of the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. Will the class please be seated, and candidates will be presented their diplomas individually, and they may come forward, row by row.
Andrea Brookhart Medvick. Samantha Lee Canepa, cum laude. Samantha Ann Capps. Haley Christani. Jacqueline Michelle Fortner. Summer Maria Hill. Tabitha D. Hubble, cum laude. Jenna Lee Kodash. Elizabeth K. Lamport. Julie Elizabeth Lenore, in cursu honorum. Margaret Emily Martin. Kayla Renee Moore. Marley Patricia Oles. Patrick Logan Persinger. Christopher Allen Petrie. Colleen R. Revels. Erica June Ruffner. Catherine Ann Schoenbachler. Jeanette Marie West. Kristen E. Westbury.
President Barlotta, this completes the roster of candidates for the Bachelor of Science in Nursing. Congratulations to you. And now that all the degrees are conferred, it's the time for the ceremonial turning of the tassels. It's a long tradition in the United States, hold on, and it's meant to signify the transition from candidate to graduate. To partake in this tradition, I now ask that each of you move your tassels from the right to the left. Congratulations again.
Congratulations, graduates. At this time, I would like to introduce Anna Vanier, the class of 1980. She's our outgoing president of the Alumni Executive Board. She will extend her congratulations to our new graduates as they enter a new status here at Hiram College. Ann.
Thank you, President Verlotta. Good afternoon. I know how eager each and every one of you is to celebrate your accomplishments with your friends, families, and classmates, and I promise to keep my comments brief. On behalf of the Hiram College Executive Board, congratulations on your graduation. As you celebrate this wonderful day, don't forget to go back and thank those that have made it possible. Your parents, your grandparents, your siblings, your professors, and even those elementary and preschool teachers that started you off on your educational track. Most of you arrived here as 17, 18, or 19-year-olds, and 4 short years later, you are here. A few of you took a little longer because you had to adjust to the academic demands, socialization opportunities, or finding a routine, but you are here. Some of you started your college career, left and came back, but you too are here. There are others of you that decided to pursue your bachelor's degree much later in life, but you are here. And the last group that is here today with us are those that have gone on to pursue a master's degree. Along the way, many of you balanced your education with jobs, family activities, and outside interests. You have made sacrifices to achieve your degree and at the same time set examples for those around you that anything can be accomplished once you set your goal. By being here today, you have joined 2 exclusive groups. The first group is that you are now part of the 33.3% of the U.S. population with a bachelor's degree, or the 9.3% of the population with a master's degree, according to the 2014 U.S. Census. A second and even more exclusive group is that you are now part of the Hiram College Alumni Association with over 15,000 living alumni. On behalf of all the members, welcome. Your time here at Hiram has allowed you to fine-tune the essential skills of a liberal arts education. These skills include, but are not limited to, the digital age, communication, collaboration, and negotiations. We also must include our critical thinking skills, creativity, and time management. In the era of STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, Hiram has gone one step further. Hiram has taken STEM into STEAM. Science, technology, engineering, arts, and the math. Take all of these disciplines and essential skills and go out and make your place in the world. No matter how small or how large, you can make a difference. With your Hiram education, you can do anything. Some of you already have plans, be it continuing your education or a job. For those of you still unsure, do not forget a unique resource. All of those people that have crossed this stage in front of you. Reach out and connect with the alumni. We are more than willing to help. We remember what it was like to graduate and look for that first job. The Alumni Office and Career Service Office here on campus can help you with those connections. Least but not last, do not forget to come back to Hiram. Let us know what and how you are doing. Come back and celebrate and connect with others. Your first opportunity as an alumni is next month for the Alumni Weekend. Also, remember to give back. Give back of your time or by sharing your Hiram experience with potential new students. Wear your Hiram garb proudly or display an alumni sticker on your car or take it with you on Uber. And when you are able, help support others achieve their dream too. Once again, congratulations to the class of 2018 and good luck in your future.
Please rise and join us in singing our alma mater. Thank you.
Oh, sons and daughters of a generous mother, gather in thankfulness about her shrine. Ye who have wrought and conquered much by her spirit open, light be thine. Light through the years from her classic hill, streamed o'er effulgent and her shining still. Oh, Lord, to guide us and to do her will. Sing to her, alma mater, alma mater mine. We who are treading in our happy pathways strive to uphold her standards ever high. Now let our footsteps falter lest we forever have Lord be our crown. Lifelong loyalty we pledge to thee. Alma mater may we ever be, true sons and daughters of thy spirit free. Sing to her, alma mater, alma mater mine.
Class of 2018, dare you disturb the universe? Dare you mend, dare you heal, dare you love the universe? As you cross this threshold and continue within our beautiful and changing world, go with your intelligence and your integrity, your courage and your compassion, and do your part with all you are for justice, for freedom, for peace. Amen.